let's do a conversion between moles and particles, particles and moles. As a reminder, our relationship for 1 mole amount of substance is 1 mole equals 6.022 times 10 to the 23 particle. And that particle can be anything. Particle can be anything. Just like I'm saying a dozen can be anything, a mole can be anything. We're going to put it in chemistry terms though. Okay, so let's say that you're given moles and you want particles. Now that particle is going to be identified as atom, molecule, ion, compound, formula unit. Those will be the clues that, oh, I'm looking at an individual particle. So here we have it. I have 3.2 moles of, oops, let's make this methane. 3.24 moles of methane. And I want to know how many molecules. I want to know how many molecules. So a little reminder, when we're doing dimensional analysis, we always begin with what we're given, and we have a picture in our mind. What am I beginning with? Okay, moles of methane. What do I want to end with? Molecules of methane. So if I know where I begin, where I end, now we can find the path in between. And units will tell us what to do. This ratio with those units is key. Okay, so I see mole. I want to get rid of mole. I'm going to put mole in the denominator. Why? So it cancels. And then what do I want? I want molecule. Molecule. Now I attach the numbers. Well, 1 mole of anything, in this case it happens to be methane. 1 mole of methane has 6.022 times 10 to the 23 molecules. Notice when we multiply this, moles of methane cancels, and we will be left with molecules of methane. So I did this in my calculator. Notice I have 2 sig figs right here. I'm going to treat this as an exact number. We'll go with the 2 sig figs, and this is going to equal 1.9 times 10 to the 24, and let's attach the unit to this. Molecules of methane. And there's our answer. Notice the units are key as long as you know Avogadro's number. Okay, now let's go particle to mole. So we begin with some particle. In this example, I wanted to pick something kind of fun, so I went with gold. I thought this would be awesome to have this much gold. We have 4.78 times 10 to the 24 atoms of gold. You go, oh, that's a particle. That's a particle. I want to go from atoms to mole, which means I've got to get rid of atom and end with mole. I have to get rid of the particle and end with mole. So let's begin with our units first. I put atoms of gold in the denominator. Why? So it cancels. And then the unit I want is mole. I'm going to put mole of gold in the numerator. That's what I want to end with. And now we just attach the numbers. So think, what numbers go where? 1 mole contains 6.022 times 10 to the 23 atoms. Now putting this in our calculator, I'm going to do the 4.78 times 10 to the 24 divided by. Remember, anything in the numerator you divide, anything in the denominator you divide, anything in the numerator you multiply. The 1, because it doesn't change, if I multiply or divide, I just leave that out. Don't put it in my calculator. So I go the 4.78 times 10 to the 24 divided by 6.022 times 10 to the 23. Look at the units. Atoms of gold cancel. So we will be left with moles of gold, and that's exactly what we want. Did this in the calculator. Notice I have 1, 2, 3 sig figs. So we end with 3 sig figs. We will have 7.94 moles of gold. And let me just tell you, that's a chunk of change. You and I could, yeah, we could do some fun stuff with that. All right, so we have conversions between moles and particles. Thanks.